So basically, I had these two friends. Let's call them Friend A and Friend B. Me and Friend A were extremely close for 2 whole academic years. We were classmates, and honestly, she knew almost everything about me. She even knew about my crush. And trust me, that crush later turned out to be a complete red flag. But back then, I liked him for years. Since around 6th grade, I think, Friend A knew all about it. And Friend A was super extroverted too. Like, she had a lot of friends. Literally, everyone knew her. Anyway, those 2 years went really well. No problems, no drama. But then we entered a new grade, and that's when Friend B came in. Friend B told me, "We weren't able to be together for the last 3 years, so let's finally stay together now." And honestly, I thought she was really nice at first. At first, everything actually felt perfect. We became a trio. We sat together every single day, shared everything with each other, and honestly, we were almost inseparable. But then, things slowly started changing. Friend A started getting way closer to Friend B, which was kind of surprising because before that, they weren't even that close, and suddenly, they were basically best friends. At first, I didn't really think much of it, but little things started happening. They would talk quietly with each other, laugh about something, and whenever I asked what happened, they'd just say, "Oh, nothing." And this didn't happen once or twice. It kept happening for almost the whole academic year. Slowly, I started feeling left out, and then things got even worse. Both of them started becoming really close to my crush. And yeah, don't worry, this happened during my last school year, and that crush eventually turned out to be a total red flag anyway. But at that time, it still hurt. Because instead of encouraging me to talk to him or helping me out like real friends normally would, they started hanging out with him themselves. A lot. They got close not only to him, but also to his entire friend group. And I kept trying to convince myself it was normal. Like, okay, they're just friends. But then it reached a point where they'd hang out with him all the time, without even telling me. And while they were all together laughing and having fun, I was usually the one left alone. And whenever I asked them, "Why don't you invite me too?" they'd always say things like, "Oh, we thought you were busy." Like, busy every single day? Seriously? It honestly started feeling like an excuse at that point. And then they got so close to my crush that one day they literally pranked me by saying he confessed to Friend A. And I'm not gonna lie, that hurt. A lot. Because at that moment, I realized something. Real friends don't joke about things that they know genuinely matter to you. That was probably the moment I stopped seeing them the same way. After that, I slowly stopped sharing things with them too. But honestly, it wasn't even because I wanted revenge or anything. I just felt unwanted. They already shared everything with each other anyway. Sometimes they'd literally say things like, "Cover your ears," whenever they wanted to talk privately. And every single time they did that, it genuinely broke me a little, because I kept thinking, why did I even become friends with people who made me feel this excluded? Then our final exams happened. And after exams, when everyone's class divisions and roll numbers were coming out, even then, they didn't tell me which class they got. At that point, they were basically a confirmed duo. I remember one of my other friends once told me, "I think Friend A and Friend B are ignoring you on purpose." And back then, I didn't believe it. But later I realized they were right all along. Then exams ended, and honestly, by that point, our friendship already felt gone. Even before exams, we had our farewell. Friend B didn't even show up, but Friend A did. And you know what hurt the most? The entire farewell, she barely even talked to me. She only kept talking about Friend B and some other friends, and when the farewell ended, she didn't even say goodbye to me. Instead, she left with someone else, and that's when it finally hit me. She was avoiding me. After exams ended, we basically stopped talking completely, but if I'm being honest, even while we were still in school, they mostly texted me only when they needed something. Otherwise, it was always, "Sorry girl, I was busy." Busy? Because somehow they always had time for each other. There were so many little moments where they made it obvious that they only needed each other, not me. And accepting that was really hard, because these were people I genuinely cared about. Then about a month after exams, my mom told me to text friend A. And honestly, my mom was probably the only person who truly stayed by my side through all of this. So, I finally texted friend A. I said, "Hey, it's been a long time." And she replied casually like, "Yeah, hey, how are you?" I said I was good, and then we started talking a little about streams and classes and normal stuff. And then I asked about friend B. That's when she told me something that honestly shattered me. She said that they had recently hung out with my crush and his friends, and apparently, he had even come to her house. And the worst part? I knew none of this. The person they once called their bestest friend didn't even know these things happened. That moment genuinely broke me. So I asked her, "Why didn't you invite me?" And after everything that already happened between us, she just replied with, "Oh, we forgot." Forgot? Seriously? Because how do you forget someone who was once part of your everyday life? And at that moment, I finally realized something. She was never really my person anymore. Then the next day, friend B texted me, acting completely normal, like she didn't know anything about the hangout. But honestly, it felt like she only texted me because she needed help with class-related doubts again. Except this time, I had changed. I stopped over-explaining. I stopped chasing people. I just replied, "I don't know." And even after that, she kept texting me like nothing had ever happened. But this time, I never replied back. And slowly, everything became clearer. Friend A deleted her old account, made a new one, and followed everyone except me. She even unfollowed me on Pinterest. And honestly, that was all the confirmation I needed. So I blocked her. Because at some point, you stop blaming yourself and realize you simply deserved better. And that is what fake friendship actually looks like.